From the size of store aisles to brand name pricing and product sizes, there are several tricks dollar stores might be using to get you to spend more money. And you might be surprised to know that they actually work. Here's a list of those tricks and how dollar stores pull it off. This is one of those tricks that can shock customers when they make their way up to the cash register at a dollar store. If you go into a dollar store, it would be natural to assume that everything is, in fact, $1, but that's not always the case. Luckily, Dollar Tree actually does offer all the products on display for $1, so you know what you're getting into when you shop there. However, many other similar national chains don't offer the same kind of price guarantee. That means you could be piling items into your cart thinking that you're only going to pay $1 for each. But when the cashier rings you up, you realize you're spending a whole lot more. This trend isn't going to change anytime soon, so we recommend you pay close attention to the price tags on each item. It's not that you shouldn't pay more than $1 for an item if you think it's worth it, but it's important to know exactly how much you're spending, so you don't break your dollar store budget. There's so much that goes into designing a store. Organizations want us to spend more money whenever we set foot in a store. Not only does this involve the kinds of products you'll see inside a dollar store, but it's also reflected in the store layout. For example, consider how Dollar Tree purposefully made its store smaller. Rivals like Walmart, which on average is 18 times the size of a dollar store, are massive, and customers have to walk all the way through a store to see everything that's available. In reality, this doesn't happen much. Walmart customers go to the aisles they need and move on, likely missing a lot of what the store has to offer on the way. But the opposite is true at Dollar Tree. Because they're so small, it's easy for customers to walk through an entire store while heading toward exactly what they need.
Our stores have that option available to be able to run in, get it, and really get out.
This means that customers are seeing a variety of items that they're likely to buy even if they didn't plan for it. You may not love the tiny aisles and cramped atmosphere of a Dollar Tree, but you should know it's like that for a reason, to get you to spend more money. One common tactic at dollar stores is attempting to attract customers as they're walking past the store. A boring storefront may not be that appealing, but when you put a bunch of cheap and brightly colored items behind a glass window covered in large signs, that may just convince you to see what the fuss is about. Of course, there are those who go to the dollar store or its website on a regular basis to buy essentials.
Where did you get all this stuff anyway? Oh, check it out! I got it all online. Cool.
But there are plenty of customers who go on a whim to see what the store has to offer. If you're trying to save money and don't want to get sucked into the vortex of promising deals at your local dollar store, avoid any outdoor bargains or displays that may lure you into a full-on spending binge. You might think dollar stores would comfortably space out shelves so people had plenty of room to walk around one another. Many stores, however, want you to feel a little cramped. If a store aisle is too wide, someone can easily walk to exactly what they want without having to think about the other stuff that's also available. With smaller aisles, however, customers are likely to move more slowly, giving them more time to see all the products on display. How cramped you might feel most likely depends on the store and how easily frustrated you get with smaller aisles. But when it comes to watching your budget, this is certainly a trick you should be on the lookout for. A common tactic dollar stores employ is grabbing your attention with the newest seasonal items. These items are usually placed at the front of dollar stores, as there's a good chance they're new, fun, and likely to catch your attention. Therefore, you might be tempted to buy something from the seasonal section before you even get to what you need. However, many people are going to dollar stores for essential items. These are placed in the back of the store. And so, dollar stores make you walk through things you might not need to get to the stuff you're there for. After all, the more you pass on your way to your shopping list items, the more likely you are to pick up random stuff like decorations or fun candy. If you don't want to fall for this trick, make a beeline for what you're there for and put blinders on to avoid the rest. If you've spent a lot of time in dollar stores, you've noticed there's something different each time you're in the store. Usually, it's the seasonal items that change on a weekly basis, but you might also find a host of other new products, from bath and beauty necessities to new foodstuffs. This is one of the best parts of visiting a dollar store. It gives you a chance to roam around. Even if you went for one specific item, it's likely you're going to walk out with an armful of stuff just because it's new. This trick is quite successful for dollar stores. Because there are always new and rotating items in your favorite dollar store, you're less likely to get bored with the selection. And isn't it fun when you get to find something new and unexpected when running errands? Marketing expert Priya Raghuveer spoke to Business Insider about the psychology of store design when it comes to the most popular dollar stores in the nation. When talking about the momentum effect, she said, "It's a super interesting effect which essentially shows that if you buy something which is really cheap, then after that, the likelihood of your buying something else that is more expensive increases. So shopping creates a momentum. That's why you may see small, inexpensive items at the front of the store. By the time you've already worked your way to the back, you may be primed to spend more money." Of course, just like when it comes to avoiding every other trick on this list, it comes down to being disciplined and knowing exactly what you want when you walk into the dollar store. Don't let yourself get distracted by the things you don't need. Unless, of course, you don't mind spending a little bit of extra money splurging on fun dollar store finds. We certainly can't blame you for that.
Look at all this stuff I bought. Candles, champagne, a Dido CD.
Some items are definitely cheaper when you buy them from a dollar store. These often include household essentials like cleaning supplies, hygiene products, and anything else that you might use around the house on a daily basis. This stuff gets many customers in the door because they're looking for the best deal on things they know they have to replenish regularly. Dollar stores tend to sell these items for cheaper because they have more expensive items for sale, like decorations or clothes or other non-necessities. In other words, dollar stores can get more customers in the door with their great deals on some essential items and then charge more for items people might not need as much. And while some dollar store chains are falling behind financially despite customer traffic, some store executives aren't raising the price of essential products since it would take a significant toll on their shoppers. So if you're trying to save money at the dollar store, stay away from the novelty or more decorative type items and stick with the practical stuff. Your wallet will thank you. If you're always trying to get a good deal when you're shopping no matter where you are, there's something that you should pay attention to that's more important than the total price: the per unit price. Examples of per unit price include the price per ounce of a product like detergent or the price per item in a bag of candy. You may notice all kinds of products are super cheap at dollar stores, but just because they're the cheapest doesn't mean they're the best value. If you're looking for a deal, you have to look at both how much you're getting and how much you're spending. And so when you compare the numbers at different retailers, you may realize that you'll be spending more per unit of a product if you buy it from a dollar store. It takes a little math to figure it out, but it's definitely worth the time and effort if you're pinching your pennies. If you're lucky, the store might provide the per unit price next to the total price. Check to see if it's there the next time you're shopping. Okay, so the dollar store you go to may not be trying to trick you with this one, but if you believe you can get everything for less money at a dollar shop, this one might get you for sure. Say you're walking through a dollar store aisle and you see a name brand product instead of the more generic versions you'll usually find at these stores. It would make sense for you to think that you'd hit the jackpot because any name brand item is going to be cheaper at a dollar store, right? Unfortunately, that's not the reality. In fact, you can usually find brand name products for much cheaper someplace else, and you're also more likely to buy in bulk or in larger sizes at conventional stores. Our advice? Skip the name brand products at dollar stores and simply stick with the tried and true generics that your wallet loves. Since dollar stores change the merchandise they have available on a regular basis, you never know what you're going to run into when you visit. On top of that, some dollar stores may be somewhat messy and disorganized, and while this may upset some customers, others look at it as a treasure hunt experience. You never know what you're going to find, so you want to make sure you take a look at everything just in case. Surprisingly, this is one area in which online platforms like Amazon just can't compete. When you order something online, you generally look at a lot of similar items, and you'll only choose one out of all of those options. It would be difficult for an e-commerce platform to get people to browse the way they would through a brick-and-mortar store like a Dollar Tree or Family Dollar. And if we're being totally honest, it's kind of fun to work your way through the dollar store just to see what you can find. After all, there are some good deals to take advantage of, and fun treats you just might want to take home. When you visit a dollar store for the first time, you might be blown away by how amazing the prices are. There is some pricing at dollar stores that you just can't beat anywhere else, like the famous dollar store pregnancy test. However, while the prices might be good, that doesn't mean you're getting a good bang for your buck. That's because the quality of the products could be lower than what you'd expect. This may not be a full-on trick that dollar stores are pulling on you, but shopping with this assumption could prevent you going home with subpar items. If you want to take your chances, be aware that you may not be getting top-quality products at every dollar store you go to. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more mashed videos about your favorite stores are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.